moves incredibly quick, and when it rains, it pours. So if you missed the Bitcoin pump, you're probably not alone. You had a massive candle of 23%, which in a single 2 days wiped out the entire bearish narrative. It was first straight to zero. It's all over. The SEC are coming for crypto. And now it's ETFs galore, left, right, and center, and straight back to 100K. So if you missed the trade, I do have some good information at least for you, which hopefully you can make some money off. So stay tuned until the very end of the show, and let's get started. And I want to start off on the weekly time frame chart over here on Bitcoin, because something, at least according to my trading system, significant took place, which is a break of the 𝗓𝗏𝗧. You can see the 𝗓𝗏𝗧s holding as support on the bottom, and on the top side, those asterisks act as resistance, and a break of that is a stop and reversal, right? So signifying that there's a major change of character within the market, a break of structure, and now we're looking for any high lows, basically any high lows, any pullbacks are buying opportunities within the market. I'm also going to show you what took place with ETH. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll notice that yesterday I took an ETH trade looking for Ethereum to play catch up to Bitcoin, and so far the trade has panned out really well. I'll show you what to do if you didn't see that tweet and you missed out. So let's get started with the show. Bitcoin on a weekly time frame, you can see as clear as day, is following this major upside parallel channel, and it's pretty much been high low after high low after high low. And if you remember, and I want you to pay attention to the major breaks within structure the previous times that we had. So take a look at this candle. You'll notice there was major follow through, right? So when we had this candle in January, it was straight up, massive expansive candle, followed on by another one, followed on by another one, 3 weeks of straight upside, a little bit of a pullback, and then again upside, big sell-off, and then look at that candle. One candle straight from lower low into immediate higher high. So is this going to be similar? Well, we still have 2 days left in the week. That's at least for the futures traders. And if you're trading normal spot Bitcoin, we have until Sunday close. So is it possible that this could expand straight into high high? Definitely, there is a possibility. We'll line up what the low time frames are showing us and make a decision of whether that's something that we need to front run or not. Now, look at Ethereum. You can see straight away Ethereum is lagging Bitcoin in the sense that it's still yet to break its 𝗓𝗏𝗧. Bitcoin has already come up to, in relation to Ethereum, would be at about $2,100. So could Ethereum still play catch up? Indeed, it could. It has a similar structure over here. You have your top side of the channel marking one high, second high, and then you have your higher lows, 1, 2, 3, 4, and held within the channel, no closes below that, and looking for expansion, right? So when you get to the middle of this channel, you're going to break the 𝗓𝗏𝗧, and ultimately over time you might start to move up towards that $2,400 level. That is if the bulls continue to hold on. And then if you look here at the Banter Bubbles charts, of course, it's green across the board. A lot of the very low cap altcoins, the degen plays, have already started to rally. Look at one that stands out over here is PEPE. PEPE is back, and this is one that I want to look at today from a charting perspective, so we'll make sure to bring that up. And the Frog Army, here they go. Check them out in the chat over there. Make sure that you go and drop your chart in the Banter Bubbles over here. If you have a setup that you're looking at, click on the coin over there, drop the trade in there, and share it with the community. So look at Jackus over here. I think he says it very well. BTC always consolidates for 50 days, and then it does the next directional move in just 3 days. So far in 2023, there have been only 11 days of significant up moves, and that does say a lot. Actually, the whole of crypto moves this way, and alts are this but on steroids. So alts do the same thing but on steroids is what he's saying. And he has a visual description. This is what you can expect with crypto, right? This is why you need to pay so much attention and really have your finger on the pulse of the market. Make sure you tune in each and every single day, because if you miss one single day, you pretty much could miss out, right? A lot of people, I read the comments often, and a lot of people still remember me from being very bearish last year. And now that the market's waking up, I saw the comments, they come back and they say, oh, did this guy finally become bullish? Whereas if they had watched in January already, we were starting to look for longs. And I said, I think on my first video of the year, this is the year that Carl becomes a bull. So pay attention to this chart. This is kind of how it is: slow, 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 and then big sell-offs, big moves in one day. Or it could be the other way around, right? Slow sell-offs and then a major rally, which just wipes everything out in one single day. And if you look over here at Don Crypto as well, he highlights those moves. So the most returns this year have come from a relatively small number of trading days. If you were sidelined or shorting during these days, you'd be losing out on the bulk of the gains this year, regardless of BT itself being up by about 100%. Now, this is also really where the dollar cost averaging comes into play. Dollar cost averages tend to get paid in environments like this because they've been accumulating the whole time. The only thing with dollar cost averaging is you need to dollar cost average into fundamentally strong coins. So make sure that if you do want to dollar cost average, you check out OKX. OKX do have up to $30,000 in sign-up bonuses. You have to open up 3 boxes. All the links in the description are below, and I'll explain for you how to do that. You can activate trading bots, which do the dollar cost averaging for you automatically. So how did this whole move happen? Well, of course, we know it's the ETFs, and now we officially have a 5th ETF application. So 5 major ETF companies or investment companies have filed for ETFs in just 5 days. The latest one is 𝗕𝗏𝗃, which happened as of yesterday. So another big player, institutional FOMO coming into the market, causing massive, massive pumps. Remember, the market can remain irrational longer than what you can remain solvent. So stick with the trend and kind of just ride the wave while it's there. There was also a liquidity injection into the market. If you look at the People's Bank of China over here, that lined up as soon as this liquidity came back into the market. That initiated the start of this Bitcoin pump. So I think that's something that a lot of people are not talking about or too focused on. And the net US dollar liquidity is slowly starting to trickle on up, ever so slightly. Nothing too major from the US side yet. Mostly this has been driven also by the People's Bank of China and then sidelined stablecoins. So we were looking at Bitcoin yesterday. I also want to spend a lot of time today on Ethereum. And this is what we said, right? We said, if you look at the pink lines, which is on the top and the bottom over here, we said that Bitcoin, we're focusing on last month's, which is going to be May's high and low, May's high and May's low over here, that we swept the low and we're probably going to sweep the high. I didn't expect that would happen in one day, but there it is. We swept the high, and I'm going to show you in relation where Ethereum is and how Ethereum is still lagging, and Ethereum could do the same thing. Now what your narrative should be is you should expect a little bit of a pullback. How deep that pullback comes, I'm not too sure yet. I had this at 28K around the mid-range, but it might be more shallow than that. I'm going to show you on the low time frames as well how you can decipher based on whichever coin you're looking at when it does start to run hard, how you can decipher where to time your entries in these fast trending moves so that you don't miss out. So we will highlight on the low time frames where that level would be, but looking for a pullback maybe somewhere around that 28,000, 28.5 level. And I think that's going to be a buy the dip opportunity. Any pullbacks that take place from here are most likely going to be eaten up. If they do get eaten up really quickly, that will be a real indication of how bullish this market is and if we really are going to start to run aggressively. So that is Bitcoin. Ethereum, on the weekly chart over here, again, you can see in relation, you got the previous month's high, previous month's low over here. We swept that low. We reclaimed, big expansive move up, but we are yet to break and clean or at least sweep above the May high. So if we sweep the May high, that's coming in at $2,020 for Ethereum, which means, again, still lagging. There is a bit more upside potential over here. That puts it at about another 6% move. And then any pullback that comes from there is probably going to be bought up as well as a higher low. So Bitcoin volatility, again, still supporting that this rally is real. It's volume backed, and the volatility index is picking up over here, suggestive that there is most likely a lot more legs on this run than what meets the eye. So I would recommend don't fade the rally. Try not to aggressively short the market unless you see a proper swing failure pattern. It's best to start to look for entries on longs. And we have the Bitcoin cup and handle, which we've identified. I wanted to also have a look at Ethereum to see if there was a similar pattern. Just notice on Bitcoin over here, the cup and handle doesn't fit to absolute perfection, but this is the nature of trading, right? There will always be some candles which fit outside of the pattern, and Ethereum looks the same, right? Here's Ethereum's pattern. There you got Ethereum's cup and handle. Yes, this move did come out, but more or less it is holding. The point of this is that you have a series of higher highs and higher lows. So if you look over here, you got the lows, higher low, next higher low into a falling wedge pattern over here, which we have started to confirm the breakout. Remember, I'm going to show you again in relation to Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin? Here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's price has already extended well above the breakout from that falling wedge. It's almost already met the target move coming in at 30,000, which would be the top side over there. And Ethereum, you can see, has only just started. So could it be a situation where players are going to start to move out of their Bitcoin profits into the large caps? And we know the flow of money, right? Large caps, then it goes, ETH starts outperforming Bitcoin for quite some time. And then after that, it starts to move into the large caps, the big market caps coins like in the top 10. And then you start to move into the lower caps, the mid caps, and then the lower caps, right? So look at that. You'll still be looking at about 2,100 on ETH if it meets this target like Bitcoin, right? So pay attention to that. It might not be too late to try find an entry on ETH. You just have to zoom in and look on a low time frame. So somebody here says, I'm afraid to take profit on Bitcoin. Should I? Well, it's not financial advice, right? It's completely up to you. I think if you timed a perfect entry on Bitcoin and you're still holding that, unless dominance starts to show signs of weakness and the ETH BTC chart starts to pick up in a major way, meaning Ethereum is going to be outperforming Bitcoin, then why sell that position? Rather continue to hold your Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like gold, right? It's definitely like gold. So we'll look at all those ETH BTC charts as well in a moment. Here we have our comparison chart overlaying the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, Bitcoin, and then I recently just added Ethereum over here. And you can see again, Ethereum still needs to play catch up if it's going to get to Bitcoin standard. They mostly move in perfect unison, right? One tends to lead the other. Ethereum is definitely lagging, and we had the perfect mean reversion play for the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. Expect them to converge directly into one another, which means there could still be a little bit more upside over there. Now, bringing the ETH BTC chart up, I put this in the daily candle newsletter yesterday. There is also a link in the description below if you want to participate in signing up to the newsletter and reading that newsletter. We drop daily alpha over there. This is what my plan was and what I was looking at. So I scaled into my ETH position right over here on this wick. And the reason why is because I anticipate a short-term bounce, right? How high would that short-term bounce go? That means that ETH could potentially outperform Bitcoin by around 5.7%. So that gives you an opportunity to catch up to some of those that lost opportunity, having missed the aggressive move that took place on Bitcoin. You could potentially get a little bit of a bounce over here, but as soon as it comes back into this trend line, I'll have you know there's a good chance that I'll probably be selling out of ETH back into Bitcoin, expecting that obviously it's going to continue back down towards the range low major support. If, however, it's showing extreme signs of strength and it looks to be breaking through, because there is a possibility, right? There is a real possibility if we grab our box over here that Ethereum or ETH BTC could still be in a range, right? You might see something like that. Let's just quickly change the box to a normal box. You might see something like this. Make that bigger for you. There we go. And I'll change the color. Perfect. You might see something like this. If it does break this resistance trend line, then the whole ETH narrative is going to come back, right? They're going to start to talk about the EIP upgrade and this and that and, you know, everything. There's always a narrative that drives crypto, but price action shows you first what's taking place. So that would look something like this. Push up. If it's showing signs of strength and it breaks that long-term resistance trend line towards the downside and it gets above that, holds above, I'll continue to hold the ETH position, and then maybe I'll consider scaling out if it gets here towards the top side of this range, which is also the overall mid-range, right? There I have it written, the mid-range. You might deviate over that level, scale back into Bitcoin, and then see if it comes back down from there. So, of course, remember, guys, trading, there's no absolutes. We're just playing the game of probabilities over here, and the probability is that right over here for ETH, you have an area of support. The wick supports that. It's already starting to bounce over here, and I'll zoom in to show you. So here's the wick. Remember, we did nail this move at the top over here where I highlighted it, and we exited those ETH positions. And now that's supporting the notion that there's a good chance that altcoins, or ETH at least, does start to bounce and head towards that 0.0659 level. So that's what I'm watching. Total's continuing with its bounce over here. That is the normal total market cap, or that is total 3. Remember, we'll be wary when it gets to 347 billion. What about total 2? also continuing its bounce. Total 2s already coming into the mid-range. So now it's time to pay attention to see if it's going to reject from here. If it can get above the mid-range over here, fantastic. That means that alts are really going to start to rally. But for the time being, we treat support as support and resistance as resistance. And the mid-range, which is being tagged, should be serving as resistance right now. Okay, what about Bitcoin? We'll look at ETH as well on the Ichimoku cloud. Bitcoin over here has come directly into its top side of resistance. Beautiful move. Let's look at what's going on here with the ADX. So the ADX has started to pick up. We had the DI positive, the green line, cross above the red, indicative that bulls are taking back control. We now want to see this blue line start to turn back up, really supporting the notion that bulls are going to run with this entire move. If we look at ETH over here, ETH's got the same thing, recently just crossed, right? So again, showing ETH as a laggard. ETH has definitely been lagging, expecting the DI negative to trend down, DI positive to trend up, and then the ADX to continue to support that rally towards the upside. And really, if ETH can start to break above this level, which is coming in at right where price is now, 1910, look at how it's already trying to reject from that zone. So it's been resistance, which led to the major sell-off, and now we're starting to reject from that zone. Any break above that and close above that level means that more than likely you're going to start to target towards this high. And remember, it's higher low after higher low. That means that is your level to take out in order to create the next higher high, meaning that ETH could definitely go above $2,124 over the next couple of days. It's a definite possibility. First, we need to get above this resistance zone, though, at 1913. Okay. Before we carry on, guys, and I show you this beautiful comparison between ETH and BTC on this chart, take 1 second out of your day to smash the like button. I can see there's 2,000 of you live, but we only have 382 likes. It really helps to get the show content out there and just to bring more views to the channel and provide them with this great alpha. So smash the like button over there. And then also let me know in the comment section below, what are you looking at currently? What trades are you looking at? If you missed the Bitcoin move, what are you looking at? I see Joshua is looking at Jesus coin. So, and then also at Pulse Chain over there. So let me know in the comments, what are you guys looking at? And then maybe we can bring those charts up towards the end. Okay, here's a comparative chart between both Bitcoin and ETH. So I got Bitcoin on the bottom, ETH above. You have both of them with their pivot levels, right? Firstly, Bitcoin's pivot levels at 28,000, meaning as long as Bitcoin bulls continue to defend that $28,000 price, then prices probably continue to trend on up. So any high low that forms above there is probably going to bode very, very well for the bulls. You do also have the cross between the moving averages, the yellow above the pink, which is so far looking good. Now, look in comparison, right? You got ETH, which has only just started to break out of this channel, which is the downsloping channel. It had a perfect retest of the 200 MA, whereas Bitcoin was completely front run, right? Bitcoin's 200 MA was coming in right just below that $24,000 at the time, got front run, bounced off of the 200 EMA instead, and consequently, we have the breakout, right? So will this breakout continue? Well, with ETH over here, as long as we hold above, I would say as long as this candle doesn't start to close below about 1870, then most likely it's going to be continuation towards the upside, which means that maybe you're going to get a second candle just like we saw over here with Bitcoin. Your ETH pivot level is 1780, so in the medium time frame, you want to see Ethereum bulls defend price, no returning back into this channel. As long as ETH doesn't come back into this channel over here, it's overall going to be bullish over the medium time frame. Okay, let's look at the low time frames on the 4-hour chart for both ETH and BTC. So firstly, this is what you would need to do if you were looking to time an entry on a very quick moving asset. If you see something like this, you want to take your fib from the bottom to the top. Firstly, you need to have a confirmed top, right? So let's assume that is a confirmed local top. Then you take your fib from the bottom to the top over there. And what you really want to target is the 0.382 fib retracement level, which is coming in at 28,488. So 28,488. If you see any sweep like that, it probably leads to another leg up. Now, I personally believe that we'll take out this high first. we might see a shallow dip. I don't think that we'll get to the 0.382. I think you'll see a shallow dip, and then you'll probably set in the main local top. So pay attention to that. If you see that, then maybe I would start to look to short something like that around that $32,000 level. $32,000 is where the main resistance is going to be for Bitcoin. That's the next upside target so long as Bitcoin holds above 30,000. What about Ethereum? Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum's 382 fib retracement comes in over here. It also happens to be a key quarterly level, which is at $18.21, right? So $1,821, that's the level that you want to see hold. If it does, that's going to be a buy the dip opportunity, and then you're expecting continuation. So that's probably where I would set my bids, and it's going to look the same on any of the altcoins that you were hoping to buy, which seem to be pumping, right? Okay, on the hourly chart, I don't have too much commentary over here. Let's just quickly see if there's anything of interest on Bitcoin, and then I'm going to go into some of the altcoin plays, some of the coins that I picked out that looked half decent, right? So here you have Bitcoin again. That was the prior range high. The range high is going to be around that $30,000 mark. I just want to remind you once again, if you do see something like that, and you set in a major top over there, then you could possibly start to look for a short, but it's not really advised to short extreme momentum. Let's say you're playing quick scalps down and it starts to break back into the range. Well, then that would be your opportunity to compound on that short, right? When you break and hold into the range over here, then you can say most likely you're going to return towards the mid-range level. But I don't think that's on the cards yet. Let's see if bulls can continue to defend price. Okay, let's look at a couple of the flow diagrams and things that we have over here. Total liquidations, a couple of longs got liquidated over there. Nothing too much of interest, but this is definitely of interest. Is going to be on high block capital. If you look at the ratios over here of the delta, so the delta, positive delta, meaning that the guys that are leveraged up, how much liquidations are there if you liquidate the longs? Well, a lot more than the shorts, right? So look at that. It's very, very high up. You have 845 long liquidations for every 422 short liquidations. So it's basically almost one of the highest that I've seen in a very long time. So probably something to watch. Let's look at Ethereum. Where's Ethereum on this list? Quickly let that load up. And whilst that loads up, I just want to show you, if you look over here, this is supported by other platforms as well. So if you think high block is not accurate and you look at Levitas over here, it's exactly the same thing. Extremely, extremely positive funding, meaning that most people are long right now. And that's kind of where you want to be careful, right? You definitely want to be careful. You don't want to be aping into leverage positions right now. Prepared to buy the dip instead on any pullbacks that take place. So looking at ETH over here, ETH is the same thing. Look at the ratio. 617 longs to 73 shorts over here. That's your liquidation levels or your liquidation ratio. At some point, this leverage will get wiped. It will be probably quite a brutal move towards the downside. But again, I do think it's going to be an opportunity. I don't think that it's basically it's going to be full on bear mode over here and that this is the biggest bull trap ever. I think this is a major break of structure, and overall it's a positive sign, and you should be looking for a uptrending move over time. So that is also supported over here. If you look at CoinGlass, I compared against multiple different exchanges to make sure that the data is accurate. And here you can see the funding rates, again, extremely aggressive over here towards the upside, suggestive that it's mostly longs. There's almost no shorts left in the market, right? And then you got your liquidation levels. This is on Bitcoin over here. Main liquidation levels, let's zoom in, come towards the downside, 29,727. These are late longs that are piling into the market trying to chase price up. So again, any of those spikes that come into, I think are just going to be bought up very, very quickly. So you probably want to ladder some of your orders in. Okay, and then lastly, before we go into the altcoins that I wanted to show you, let's look at the spot. Spot is still mostly trending down. It hasn't been a notable uptick yet, but I do expect that spot will probably start to chase price on the next pullback. When the next pullback comes, I think you'll start to see these spots start to trend up. Leverage is still pretty aggressive over there. Okay, let's bring up some of those coins. I quickly need to look on my list over here. I have a bunch. Okay, the ones of interest. I had 𝗬𝗍 was one of them. So let's go to 𝗬𝗍. You'll remember that I brought up 𝗬𝗍 before, and I said, if you see 𝗬𝗍 break structure over here, so you see a break of this trend line, which we now have, When there's a pullback and it forms another higher low anywhere around this region, that's probably an opportunity to get long on 𝗬𝗎. I'm just bringing it to your attention so you can put that onto your watch list. Make sure that you have that over there. Higher low, break of structure, and then you can target towards the mid-range for 𝗬𝗎 is going to be at about $1.05, and then the upper side is going to be at $1.40. Okay, then I had PEPE. Here's PEPE. So you can see PEPE is definitely catching a bid. It's had pretty high volume and open interest in comparison to other coins, showing that there is definitely still risk appetite over here. Look, this is basically range bound. I would focus on it like this. Treat this as your primary range. I'm going to move this down a bit. So there we go. I'll treat this as the primary range. So your range low, a lot of zeros, but it's going to be 10.0420 is the last bit. And then on the top side, 27987 is going to be your upper side. And then remember, you can use your fib tool, right? And then work out where the rest of the range levels are. So let's quickly change that and put that onto range tool. There we go. So your 0.5 zone, which would be your main area of interest if you were going long on this, is going to be 19.248. And then we're currently situated right there at the range quarterly. The range quarterly is providing some resistance over there at the moment. So watch for a little bit of a rejection and pullback. Next higher low, put in your trend line over here. Next high low that comes into there, probably an opportunity on something like PEPE. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. And by the way, guys, on in the Discord group, I will drop these with proper levels. I'll put it in the group over there with exactly where I would be looking for an entry. I'll outline the zones because I'm obviously doing this live right now. I had to wake up really early to find some of these charts of interest. So I haven't mapped out the exact buy levels, sell levels, etc. We'll put that in the group. Okay, next, another coin that's noteworthy is BGB, which is BitGet token. Let me just see where it is. Okay, first let's go to GALA because I know that's on the list and it's right here. So GALA was one that I was watching over here. You can see, let's just zoom out. Okay, if you look at GALA, if it can start to get back above this pink box zone over here, and you can obviously tighten this up, guys. You can definitely tighten this up to make it a little bit of an easier entry. So if you can start to get above this zone over here, then that's going to be a deviation back into the range, right? So you're going to deviate back into the range, confirm above this level over here, and then your next target, you can target up towards, so there, something like this. If you get above here, now you zoom in on the low time frames, look for a trigger plan, meaning high highs and high lows, break of structure, and then you can start to target towards the 200. First, the 200-day moving average, which is trending down. It lines up more or less as well with your mid-range, which is going to be in this region. And if you get above that, well, ultimately, you're moving all the way back to the range highs. So again, zoom in, because just to put this into perspective, a move from there to there is already 24%. If you go up to the top side over there, you're looking at 66%. And again, as I just said, I'm going to put that into the Discord for you. So hopefully there's not too much guessing around that. Okay, next I had Uni and NEAR didn't look too bad. Okay, where are they? Uni. I wish that TradingView had a search option here. As far as I know, you can't search. Okay, here's NEAR. Let's go to NEAR. Okay, there's NEAR. Also, watch for the possible deviation back into the range. You had the deviation over here. If you have the deviation back into the range and you manage to get back above this zone, this could be a really, really good one, right? If you get above that 200-day moving average, this could be a really good one once you start to hold on to that. Remember, this would not be for a leverage trade. This, I'm talking more towards spot traders, something to pay attention to in the coming weeks to months. This is why I'm outlining these to you. It's not necessarily for a today trade. I also want to remind you that the narratives always change, right? The narratives in the market tend to move the markets, but the cycles seem to repeat. The cycle being that it's Bitcoin first, then it's Ethereum, and then it's altcoins. I know we have the whole SEC thing now, but at some point, there is probably going to be a rotational play into altcoins. And if Bitcoin is showing the way, Bitcoin is showing a major break of structure, and it seems to be trending up, consider focusing already your attention towards which altcoins you would look to position yourself into going into the future. Okay, so that is NEAR. Then we had, okay, I also had Link and Uni. Let's see, where's Link and Uni? Here's Uniswap. Okay, I obviously went backwards, so it's going to be, there you go, Uniswap. Same thing. Uniswap seems to be creating a major deviation. And with these trades, you don't need to be playing this to all-time high, right? I want to show you again a move from here to here. If you play it towards the mid-range, that's 55%. You play it from there to the top side of the range, that's already 100% move. These are huge moves, right? Try get that in traditional markets. It will take you many, many years. Obviously, you're taking a lot more risk on with these coins, but it's still an opportunity. So here's the play. That's your range low, deviation. Look at the respect of this trend line over here. As long as you hold within this level. So now you want to zoom in. Let's give you another example because I have done this before, but I'll just show you again. Here's your example. Create a trigger plan, right? Higher highs, higher lows. Here's Uniswap, and I'll drop these in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, by the way, click on the link in the description below. You can get into the Discord by clicking that link. You'll need to get access into what's called the VIP group, which is my private group. In order to do that, you have to sign up to either Bybit, BitGet, OKX, I think those three. Yeah. One of those three. Sign up to one of those. That is your key. You make a small deposit in there. It doesn't have to be anything big, and you'll get access. So you can see over here, the trend is mostly upright. The trend line doesn't have to be perfect. The point is that you can see that the trend is mostly up. I would probably look for something tighter like this on the low time frame. Probably something like this. Maybe a pullback into that. If you see a pullback into that trend line, this is now I'm looking at the hourly time frame. So something like this. Okay, you're now coming into the zone. The deviation looks like it's almost confirmed. A push into that trend line, boom, that's an opportunity to buy. Get back above. Now you've confirmed the deviation. At this point, you're above the pink zone. Compound your trade, and off you go. So it looks like this. And let's just quickly grab the tool. It's not a real trade if you don't have a risk to reward tool, right? So something like that. If you want a tight end validation, these lows that took place over here at 452, that would be the area where you'd want to stop out. If you want to go for a major play, well, then you can say this is your last major swing low on the left-hand side coming in at 437. Then you're going to stop over there, and then you can play this all the way up, right, towards the mid-range. So there's the trade. I don't need to put that in the Discord. This is a taste of what you'll get in the Discord, right? We'll put trade setups like this. This is kind of what you're looking to do. Okay, next, Chainlink. Let's go to Chainlink, put it back onto the daily time frame. Same thing. You find your trigger plan like that. But Chainlink, I told you guys long ago, right? I said these guys are going to be these guys are eventually going to be scared out of their position. Look, you have a long-term area at around this 554, which had been holding, and they've been buying, and then boom, you wipe them out, take them out of their position, and then you see a deviation back into that range. That deviation is taking place. I actually think there's a very good chance this might be a trade that I'm going to take. I'm going to look for a trigger plan over here, and then basically entry, stop goes under there, and at least for a bit of a bouncy bounce, that will be a great opportunity trade over there. Okay, what else have I got? Okay, let's go to Solana. So you'll remember I did indeed say for Solana that I'd be looking for a short, but only if it obviously confirms the break of structure when it comes into that zone. So you'll remember when it comes into the pink zone, now my bias is it comes into the pink zone, it's probably going to reject, right? Then I zoom in while it's coming into the pink zone on the 1 hour chart, and I look for a break of structure, right? So boom, lower low, lower high. That did not happen. Therefore, there was no short trade. I just want to make that clear because I know a lot of people got confused with that. I thought I explained it in in-depth detail. I don't think I did. I know I did. I explained it in in-depth detail on the stream. You can go back and have a watch on that. And I said, if obviously it reclaims this level and holds above, well, then your whole narrative starts to change, right? Now you can start to look for long opportunities because we're not emotional and biased on this channel, guys. My loyalty is towards my account, my trading account. I want to protect my capital and grow my capital. I don't care about Solana. I don't care about any of these coins. I just want to make money, and I'm not emotional. I'm not hating on Solana saying it's going to zero. I'm just looking at a resistance area, and it managed to break through. Now that it's broken through, you'll look for it to retest that as support. So flip from resistance into support. If it successfully does that, you're playing it back towards the top side over here at $20. As a percentage move, what would something like that look like? Well, look at that, about a 20% move, guys. Huge moves, right? Big moves. You don't have to risk too much money, and you can make a lot of money over there. All right, let's see. What else have I got over here? Okay, Breaking news. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg agree to fight in a cage fighting match. Can you believe this, guys? This world is absolutely insane. This is from DJ News, which you'd think, well, can you actually take these guys seriously? But he gave the source over here. Here you go. Yeah, let's click on Elon. So he says, if this is for real, I'll do it. I haven't even looked at this. What is this? This is Zuck's story on Instagram right now. Simulation confirmed. Let's see, what does it say? I'm up for a cage match if he is. Laugh out loud. I love you, Elon, but you better start training. Okay? So this is the situation. I don't know if this is for real, guys. Let me know in the comments what is going on over here. You got Ron Burgundy as well challenging him. So, okay, that I know not crypto related, but I thought that was the most insane thing I've ever seen, and I just had to share it. I also read somewhere that he said he knows a very good move that he's been using for a long time. It's called the Walrus, where he just lies on his opponent and he can't get up again, and then he wins. So anyway, let's see. Check out CoinW as well, guys. If you are in the US and you're struggling to get an exchange to use, it is worth checking them out. Pretty similar to any of the other exchanges in terms of their user interface. Nothing really different. It's just like Bybit, BitGet, or OKX. And if you deposit $100, you'll get a $40 sign-up bonus. And then you also get $15 trade percentage off on your trading for the first 7 days after you have registered. So register, deposit money immediately, start trading, and then also smash the like button below. Check out the links. All the links are in the description. Everything is there. The newsletter, the Discord, all the exchanges, everything is there for you. I hope you all have a stellar day. And again, remember, guys, I need to bring this tweet up. I have to bring this tweet up before we finish off. Here we go. I will put the tweet up here. Here you go. This is important. I said, the market is flooded with FOMO buyers. Stops on this trader at break even. A word of wisdom, check yourself before you wreck yourself. There will be plenty more trades. If you miss this one, you don't want to blow your account over it, right? So again, I just want to say that, guys, don't blow your account over one missed trade. A lot of people miss the trades. It's the best of the people miss the trades. And even the ones that got the trade, they sold at 27.4 because that's where most of the resistance was. Trust me on that. Top traders sold at 27.4. They took 80 to 90% of their position off the table there. And now they're also looking for a re-entry. So don't beat yourself up about missing a trade. It is what it is. And this is the nature of the game. We're here for a good time and a long time. I'll see you all on the next one. Have a great day. And that's it from me. Cheers for now.